camera started on its own again, but that's okay because I was ready. Oh, good morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. Yesterday was super cold and windy, and the wind just kind of went right through you and chilled you to the bone. Today's supposed to be a really nice day, and uh, just excited for the day. So, I watched an interesting show yesterday. I wasn't feeling so hot, and my husband took our youngest outside with him, and then later one of my older girls was playing with him. And so I had a chance to have the TV all to myself, which does not happen very often. And I was looking for something to watch. Netflix took my normal picks off, and kind of a little burnout on Star Wars, and just kind of looking for something different. I'm like, okay, what do I want to watch? And I went over to Amazon and I saw this uh, movie called The Secret. And so I decided that looked interesting. So let's watch that. And it was very interesting and intriguing. And I think a lot of the principles in that are pretty spot on. Um, and in my own life, when I reflect back, I can think of the times when, like, just knowing that this homestead would happen and things like that. Like, there was an utter just knowingness. And even though it took uh, some time, we're set up really nicely now. And there's still always, there's always something else you want to do. We were talking about uh, cows this morning. I really want to have a milk cow, uh, and we want to have beef as well. And um, so I just kind of, you know, how can we make that happen? You know what? I don't even know how I'm going to make it happen. I just know it's going to happen. And there's that knowingness, and it's hard because when if it's not immediately rewarded, then you get discontent. And when I look back, we literally ended up waiting over 5 years for this homestead, um, from when we started the journey to do it. We sold our first house and stuff, and there was a long time where I got really depressed and miffed that it didn't work out when we originally tried. And you know, the more I reflect and look back on my life, the more I know the whole time we're divinely guided. And I don't know, I don't know the purpose of why we had to wait always, but there were some things that were very clear why we needed to wait. Um, and now I literally do wake up every day in paradise. It's not, my mother wouldn't say it's her paradise at all. And probably my father too, although he likes to come hunting. Um, but it's my paradise. Um, I love having all this land to roam around on, and the animals, and I'm gonna love my greenhouse this year. But it's slow, prodding steps sometimes too. Sometimes it just all unfolds, and then you got to figure out. You don't even figure it out. The universe just kind of presents it to you. And um, one of the guys in that movie, I think he's the author of The Chicken Soup for the Soul, if I was picking up on everything correctly. You know, he it he just was kind of like, how do we how do I do this? And he had no idea how he's going to make $100,000 in a year. And a month later, it suddenly came to him in the shower. And then when you have those moments, it's seizing upon them too. So the more interesting aspect that I thought was how that movie coincides with a lot of what I've been reading in Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, and the Magdalenes. And it really, it kind of all historically syncs up, in my opinion. And the only thing I didn't like in this movie was that there was looking at emotions as good and bad. And I mean, there's good and there's the vibration of depression and anxiety, and you can be putting that out into the world, but we consider that a bad emotion. It's our judgment on it, when really you could look at it as it's serving a purpose, because to me, if you're anxious, you're living in the future. So why do you keep jumping to the future? Why aren't you in this now moment? um, or if you're depressed, you're usually thinking about things in the past. Why do you keep going back to the past? And that shows your areas of self-growth and things like that. If you're mad or angry, are you, to me, those are emotions that, okay, am I expecting something of somebody else? Am I blaming somebody else when I can still choose how to react? Things like that. That was probably the only part of the movie where they really ranked the emotions as good and bad that I don't personally agree with. But otherwise, I thought the overall message it made sense, and it's really good, and it makes sense in a quantum universe. And then this morning I was watching some kid talk about quantum 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, and that really synced up with Lori Ladd's Divine Design. And on Twitter today, since I can't share links on YouTube because then I have to get verified, I don't want to do all that crap. I'll share the link to the video of this kid talking about 2D, 3D, 4D. He looked like a teenager, and he's talking about it and concepts that were just, that's not what I was thinking about when I was a teenager, but that's how the kids are so different now. They are different. So I'm sorry this isn't a big reflective video today, but if you have an opportunity, if you're on Amazon Prime or something, then look up The Secret, because it was really intriguing. It's an hour and a half, which is a little bit lengthy, but it was really interesting hearing many people talking about their experiences in the quantum universe, and sending out the vibrations that they want to receive what they want. And even though we're progressing, I think that's a way to get your mind into this other field of there really is enough for all of us. And we have so many limitations we put on ourselves because we're told everything is so limited, resources are so limited, and everything, and really they're abundant. So when my husband and I were talking about a cow this morning, I was like, I don't know, I'm working on it. I don't know how we're going to get one, but we're going to get one. And it's kind of like, I don't know how we're going to, buy more land or whatever, but I know we're going to. Like, I just have this inner knowingness that it's going to happen. Something's going to line up in just the right way. And I'll be grateful then. And it's funny because a lot of the things that they talked about in that movie are things that I already do. I probably just don't reflect on what I want often enough in a day. Um, Probably because I don't want to seem needy or demanding. I'm really okay with surrendering to the universe and letting it work in its own time. But I thought that's reflective of me. Maybe I need to reflect on why I can't be demanding with the universe. So, if you have an opportunity to watch that, I'd encourage you to. I thought there was a lot of good things, and maybe with that one caveat about emotions. And if you think there are good and bad emotions, then it'll be completely up your alley. Um, and I'll link on my Twitter, and I'll probably link it in my Facebook post too. The video about the teenager talking about the 2D and 3D and stuff, because it's very intriguing things to think about. At 9 o'clock, it wasn't even 9 o'clock, it was like 7 in the morning, and I'm watching this kid talk about different dimensions and everything, but it was so cool I couldn't not watch. So anyway, I hope you have a happy Sunday, a good last day to the weekend, and I'll talk to everybody soon.